Hey everyone, Nuclear Ninjas here, and today we are going to be taking a look at the team that got me onto the leaderboards. Now the team is Mandibuzz with Air Slash, Aerial Ace, and Foul Play, Defense Deoxys with Counter, Rock Slide, and Psycho Boost, and Chandelure is a closer with Incinerate, Shadow Ball, and Flame Charge. Now what makes this team so strong in my opinion is the fact that it plays as an ABB line when I lose the lead, but a balanced team when I win the lead. So if I lose the lead, I swap to Defense Deoxys, and that baits out my opponent's Dark or Ghost type, hopefully, leaving Chandelure free to sweep endgame at the end. If I win the lead, Defense Deoxys and Chandelure have very different coverages in terms of their positive matchups, so when my opponent swaps out, I'm likely to have a decent counter to whatever they bring in. The basic strategy then is if I win the lead, it's playing as a balanced team. I try to line up my strong matchups against their weak matchups. If I lose the lead, I can bait out the dark type or the ghost type and then hopefully finish off the dark type or ghost type with Mandibuzz, and Chandelure obviously is one of the strongest closers in the game. Now that said, while I am really proud of this team and I think it's very strong, I will say I'm a little bit frustrated for reasons you're about to see in these battles, because I don't feel like getting on the leaderboards is actually as much of an accomplishment as it should be, mostly because the game is extremely broken and laggy, and I don't actually know if I earned my spot on the leaderboards. You're going to see there are some battles where I'm lagging horribly, and all I can think about is like, if I'm lagging horribly, maybe my opponents are lagging too, and it's possible I won a battle because my opponent was lagging and I don't even know. So with that said, let's take a look at some awesome lag and some pretty fun wins and see how the video goes. So jumping into our first battle here, we pick up a match against 0618 Taco, and we get a Scrafty lead. So this is a positive lead, which means we're going to play this essentially as if we have a balanced team. They swap out into a Nidoqueen, and how I like to play these Nidoqueen matchups is I can't actually I don't have a hard answer to Nidoqueen in the back, so what I do is I throw the Foul Play. That hopefully gets him into Psycho Boost range. I stayed in a little bit longer there to try to get him to throw the Poison Fang. I'm making him think I'm just going to stay in with this matchup. And then we swap to Defense Deoxys. And at this point, I can either keep Switch or force shields with the Psycho Boost, either of which is going to be completely fine with me because Chandelure with shield advantage can handle Scrafty. It's not a big deal. Throwing the Psycho Boost here on the CMP tie. That wasn't totally intentional, I wanted to throw my Psycho Boost there. And this is either going to be KOing or getting a shield. So he decides to shield up the first Psycho Boost. We go for the second one right away. And let's see what my opponent decides to do here. He shields again, and that is basically GG. I have 2 shields and a Chandelure. My opponent has no shields, and there's going to be nothing he can do, so we're just going to... we survive. We get off another Psycho Boost with 1 HP. This Nidoqueen is actually going to survive this Psycho Boost because we're so debuffed right now, but this match is basically already over. Bring in the Mandibuzz. We're just going to go ahead and farm down the Nidoqueen. What does he have in the back? He has a Alolan Ninetales, and Scrafty with no shields versus Chandelure with shields is a very bad matchup for Scrafty. This could be a bait, it could be a foul play. I don't really care. Okay, it's a bait, but at this point he's not getting to 3 moves, so baiting is not actually a win condition for him here. We are just going to destroy this Scrafty with 2 flame charges and then incinerate the... Okay, he gets to another move here. Pretty sure this is just another power-up punch, but it could be a foul play. Okay, nope, just another power-up punch. He sneaks a counter through because that apparently wasn't a CMP tie. And Flame Charge takes the Scrafty out. And now the Alolan Ninetales is just getting completely shredded by Incinerates. He might have... I think that was actually a CMP tie there. He was probably at the Weather Ball. But... or he might have even had a Weather Ball, but honestly, even if he'd taken me out there, I probably could have aerial aced him down with the Mandibuzz because his health was low enough. So moving on to the second battle. And our next battle is against Vanellope Von SC. I'm probably mispronouncing that. and we get a Nidoqueen lead. So we're going to play this basically the same way we played the Nidoqueen safe swap in the last game. We're just going to build up and throw a foul play and then make a move into Deoxys. He'll either have to counter swap or he'll have to take a Psycho Boost and potentially let me flip switch or give me shields. We sneak in an Air Slash there, which gets us to the foul play right away. And the other nice thing about this is even if he does swap and then we end up with the Nidoqueen against the Mandibuzz again later, the Mandibuzz just cleared its debuff, which is going to make that matchup more favorable for us. So he brings in a Snorlax, Shadow Snorlax to deal with Defense Deoxys. This is not a good response to Defense Deoxys because he's dealing super effective with the licks, but we're dealing super effective right back with the counters. And you're seeing we're already adding up damage faster than him. Overfarm by one counter and then throw the Rock Slide. This is either going to get a shield or take out the Snorlax. He decides to let the Snorlax go down, and we just one switch. What does he have in the back? And then he brings the Nidoqueen back in. So this is great for us. We are throwing right as he gets to the Earth Power, so we can live a Poison Fang here, or he'll throw the Earth Power, in which case he's Energy Dry. Either way, I'm okay with that. I probably could have just thrown the Psycho Boost right when I got it, but that would have been essentially giving him permission to farm me all the way down, and Nidoqueen with Energy is very dangerous. We get to the Flame Charge one turn before he gets to the Earth Power, and he decides to shield the Nidoqueen and retreat with Energy. So now it's Scrafty in the 2v1 shield for Chandelure. We're just going to start throwing Flame Charges here, and between the Incinerates and the Flame Charge boost, he shields the first Flame Charge. Questionable play on his part. Now, if he baits me here, he might be able to get to a foul play like the same time I get to this next Flame Charge. And he realizes that that's over and backs out. If he got into the foul play there, he could have potentially Earth Powered me with the Nidoqueen. But even then, I'm pretty sure I would have had that match under control because Mandibuzz could have beaten Nidoqueen from that health range. Third battle in this set against Sand Mason, I think that said EX, I don't know, I missed the weird letters at the end of his name. Galarian Stunfisk. This is a kind of rough lead for my team because nothing in my team beats Galarian Stunfisk in the 2-shield. But we swapped to Defense Deoxys, and basically, I mean, Galarian Stunfisk actually beats Defense Deoxys because Defense Deoxys has no charge moves that do damage to it. But we are going to be going to Defense Deoxys, and we bait out the Giratina. This is great because now all I'm hoping for is I can either get a little bit of chip damage or a little bit of get a shield somewhere. Given that this is a Giratina Altered, he's probably going to want to get this is Origin Form. Altered's banned. I always get them mixed up. But anyway, he's probably not going to shield this, so I'm thinking I'll just overfarm a ton of energy and try to come out of this with a foul play to chip the G-Fisk a little bit. And if I can get a little bit of chip damage on the G-Fisk, the Incinerates will hopefully add up to enough to take the Galarian Stunfisk down before he gets to a 3 Rock Slides on the double shielded Chandelure. So foul play, I'm not expecting a shield here. He's just going to let the Origin Giratina go down. Foul play the Stunfisk instantly. Theoretically, he could have brought like something else in there, but I was thinking the Stunfisk was probably coming back in, so I didn't wait to throw. And when I swapped to Chandelure, I'm assuming blind swaps to Meganium, because this is not a matchup Meganium wants to be in at all. So throwing the Flame Charge, that's going to pressure a shield from the Meganium. If I were him, I might have just let that go, honestly. He builds up to the Earthquake, but doesn't throw it. He actually baits with a Frenzy Plant here. But we've still got this under control. Just going to throw 2 more Incinerates and then throw the Flame Charge before he gets to another Earthquake. If he had thrown there, he technically probably had a Frenzy Plant he could have thrown, which still would have pressured a shield from me, but he wanted to go for the Earthquake one-shot. And then G-Fisk is going to eat a Flame Charge. Yeah, with where my health is right now, if he'd Frenzy Planted me, he definitely could have won this. But either way, we're going to let this go through. We snuck an Incinerate in there. That puts the Stunfisk into foul play range from the Mandibuzz, and we can tank a Rock Slide at this range. Sneak an Air Slash in. This does not KO, and then we just have to foul play him, and that's going to be another win in this set. Now, unfortunately, like I said earlier, this is actually the 5th battle in the set because this This is the 5th battle in the set because I couldn't record the first 2. My recorder just kind of stopped working midway through the 2nd battle. Hit the check mark. 5-0. Awesome. This is going to boost our rating up a lot. We have the annoying process of catching a Rufflet. Fantastic. Claim rewards going up to 3209. As I'm recording this, the bottom of the leaderboard, number 500, was actually 3219. So at this point, going into this next set, I am exactly 10 points below the bottom of the leaderboard, meaning if I can go positive here, there's a very good chance I'll be put on the leaderboard after the next update. So this right here is one of the reasons that I don't consider being on the leaderboards an accomplishment. I'm literally just sitting here in the lobby and I finally get a battle after about 5 minutes against Kami. And honestly, like, there are people who are better than me who are not at this rating range purely because they tanked just to get better Q times, and they're running weird, like, not as good teams just to get better Q times. And then right there we see the second reason I don't feel like I'm accomplishing much being at this leaderboard position, which is the lag. Like, I have no clue how many fast moves I got right there. I have no clue how many fast moves he got right there. I have no idea where I am. I don't know how much energy he has. He might not know how much energy I have. It's completely screwing the entire game up. Like, I mean, I don't know whether I win this battle legitimately or if I only won because of lag or if I only lost because of lag. Well, I can tell when I lose because of lag, but I can't tell when I win because of lag. So yeah, I mean, that's just a mini rant right there. I don't know if any of that makes sense, but we've seen this Nidoqueen matchup before. We get to the double Psycho Boost. This is either going to win us switch or get a second shield. He decides to shield. I'm actually not 100% sure that would have KO'd on that range, but Shadow Nidoqueen, so probably would have. And you guys know the deal. This one's already a win because we have 2 shields. He has 0 shields, and we have a Chandelure. So unless his team is, for some strange reason, like Gengar Haunter in the back, and he's running double Shadow Claw and can shred me before I get to charge moves, there's not really anything he can do. I don't know, maybe he has a Shiny Shadow Sharpedo in the back. Level 50 Shiny Shadow Sharpedo, best buddy. That would probably do it for him. And Alolan Ninetales, that's not what you want to have in the back. He then swaps to Giratina. Guess what's about to happen? We are about to do a Baboosh. I believe that is the technical term. I don't know. I watch a lot of Shrady's videos. And goodbye, Origin Giratina. Hey, Ninetales, welcome back. Really, dude, you're throwing. I have 2 shields. You remember the part where I have 2 shields, right? He weather balls and top left. Top left. He does not top left. And we're going to throw the flame charge. So, I mean, to be fair, not top lefting is a legitimate strategy. You never know when your opponent is just going to randomly lag out and let you win despite the fact that they already have the charge moves to win the game loaded. It's happened to me before. Like, I had energy to win a battle and then just lagged out. So, good play to my opponent. You definitely were hoping for your only win con there. Picking up my next match, we are going into a Galvantula lead, and this is really rough because Galvantula beats basically my whole team. Not even Chandelure actually beats Galvantula, just because Chandelure's so glassy, we get outspammed and the discharges and volt switches add up. But we do manage to catch a discharge on the deoxys. If he'd baited with lunge right there, that would have been basically catastrophic. We pretty much would have already lost this game. Now we take the lunge, but we do have a rock slide loaded, and this is going to deal decent damage or get a shield even after the debuff. He chooses to shield, and because we have Psycho Boost, we are able to throw this Psycho Boost before he gets to the next charge move. Now, the downside of this is he can definitely farm us down here, but he swaps into a Galarian Stunfisk, and I'm like, okay, I've got the 2-to-1 shield situation, but he has some energy loaded. Let's go to Mandibuzz and throw a foul play. Remember, he just swapped, so he's still switch locked in here. And what I'm probably going to do here is go for the foul play and then make an aggressive swap into the Chandelure and start throwing Incinerate and flame charges and just shielding everything and hoping Chandelure can sweep endgame here. The problem is, remember that Galvantula has a move loaded. And that Galvantula having a move loaded, I can't take a hit from Galarian Stunfisk. I can't take a hit from Galvantula. I mean, I can kind of live on a Rock Slide, but then Mud Shots will literally farm me down. We throw another Incinerate. We sneak and Incinerate through there. Unless the damage from that Incinerate did not register yet. So we show up this Rock Slide. I'm like, okay, now the Galvantula can come in and discharge me. He swaps to Galvantula and defers the Incinerate onto the Galvantula. He did not mean to do that. That was definitely a misplay. So we throw one Incinerate at the Galarian Stunfisk, and I do not want to risk this thing getting to another Rock Slide if he had a Mud Shot stored, so we just Flame Charge it. What's he have in the back? It's an Excadrill. 2 Incinerates, we CMP tie, Chandelure wins CMP against the Excadrill, and Flame Charge is going to take him out for our second win. So at this point, we are 2-0 in this set, and theoretically, if you could claim your rating after battles instead of after sets of 5, I could probably claim my rating now and be on the leaderboards. But let's play the rest of the set out and see if we can actually pull this off. I've gone 2-0 before and then immediately followed it with 3 straight losses for a losing set. Picking up our next match fairly quickly, we are going up against Dr. JGY. That might be a reference to something that I don't get, and it's a Dragalge lead, and this is kind of rough, but then I'm thinking about it and I'm like, okay, this is similar to the Nidoqueen matchup. If I can land a foul play, he'll be within a range that Psycho Boost can seriously threaten him. And it's also possible that if I switch to Defense Deoxys, he'll switch out. Now, remember, the other thing to keep in mind, my Defense Deoxys is doing crazy well in this battle. This is actually a 14-15-15 Defense Deoxys that's not even powered up all the way. And he swaps to a Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn is not a good response to Defense Deoxys. Now, the good thing about Ferrothorn is it can soak all of Defense Deoxys' energy, but obviously you can see these counters are just completely shredding him. He is not able to take these counters very well. So he power whips me, and it's looking like the next power whip is going to KO, which is a little unfortunate, and we go for another Rock Slide. We're still just chipping with counters. I could have thrown the Psycho Boost right there, and possibly should have, given that it was a CMP tie. I don't know who wins that CMP tie, but I didn't want to throw the Psycho Boost and then have him be like, oh, well, now I can farm a ton of extra energy. So I do come in with Mandibuzz here. This might seem strange, but I didn't want to come in with Chandelure because that Dragalge still has a ton of energy loaded. And Dragalge can destroy Chandelure with the Aqua Tails. So I don't want to reveal the Chandelure yet. I'm hoping that he'll do that, come back in with a Dragalge. Now he gets to eat a foul play. And he shields it, actually. I don't think that foul play would have quite KO'd, so very interesting shield. And then we get to another foul play before he decides to throw the Outrage. At this point, I'm like, okay, hit me with Aqua Tail, hit me with Outrage, do whatever you want, I'm fine with it. And if he baits with Aqua Tail, we actually live it, and it's a Gunk Shot. That is the first Dragalge I've seen running Gunk Shot. They almost always have Outrage. Now here he's going to get to an Aqua Tail, but we can then shield that up. That's fine. We have 2 shields. He has 0. You guys know how 2 shield Chandelure versus 0 shield everything else goes. 1 shield and half health versus 2 Pokemon with a Chandelure. That's fine. That's fine. He brings out a Snorlax, and okay, this is sketchy because Snorlax can deal a lot of damage to me with Licks. You notice I didn't throw right away right there. I actually waited a turn to throw the Flame Charge because I was like, he might try to sack swap. And now, brilliant play by my opponent. He throws 2 Licks and then sack swaps the other Pokemon to defer the Incinerate. Gets a little bit of extra Lick damage, but it's not quite enough, and we take him down with an Incinerate with 1 HP left over. Very good match to my opponent. That was an amazing play to defer the Incinerate like that off of Snorlax, but unfortunately just not quite enough. You were 1 turn away. Picking up a match against L'Oreal. Once again, a fairly short lobby on that one. So I'm looking out here, and we pick up a positive lead against Gengar. So this is going to play like a fairly typical balanced team. Then he swaps into Surface, and I'm like, okay, this is not a good response to an Air Slash Mandibuzz. He decides to shield that up, and now what I am thinking, he probably was predicting me to have Snarl, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll go to Defense Deoxys, I can tank some Night Slashes, and I want to save the Mandibuzz for Gengar, because Gengar will shred my backline. He doesn't even have Night Slash, and we throw a Psycho Boost. There's no way he's going to shield this. Honestly, I probably should have committed to a little bit more, but I didn't want to take too much damage on the Defense Deoxys, and he just backs out. So, I mean, thanks for the free low, I guess. That was a very interesting match. I have no idea what he had in the back, because Gengar could have potentially gotten a ton of farm off Defense Deoxys and threatened my Mandibuzz if it had Sludge Bomb or Focus Blast, but guess we'll never know because my opponent decided to give me a free win. And at this point, you should know we are at 4-0. We pick up our next battle against No Mercy 684 and get an error -1. That is a new error. I've never seen that before, but there's another reason that being on the leaderboard doesn't quite feel that satisfying, because it's like, oh, hey, the game's broken. Who knows what happened there? Did my opponent just get recorded as a loss for some reason? Like, did they back out, but I don't get a win even though they got a loss? Is that hurting their elo? I don't know what happened. And it's like, between the lag and the glitches, it's ridiculous. I legitimately have no idea what my actual global ranking would be if this game worked properly. And we pick up another match, and this time we see Stud Muffins, and the battle actually starts. No errors this time, score. So picking up a positive lead here. This is positive because, first of all, I have Air Slash, and he also has Air Slash apparently, but in any case, I want to keep this Mandibuzz away from my backline, although Defense Deoxys versus Mandibuzz with Air Slash isn't a terrible matchup for me. You'll notice I miss a bubble on the Aerial Ace there. Remember that bubble later in this match, because it's going to come up. You'll notice also, I'm at 2441, he's at 2417 on his Mandibuzz. Unfortunately, he did sneak a quick move in on one of my charge moves, I think, somewhere in here. But anyway, on the bright side, the Air Slash versus Air Slash Mandibuzz matchup is at least a little bit faster. We're dealing more damage, and he is over-farming on all of these moves. He's not actually throwing his energy right when he gets it. I'm throwing my energy right when I get it. That time we hit the Excellent, but remember, first two Aerial Aces, we missed a bubble on that Aerial Ace. And now we're farming. Okay, remember those two bubbles I missed on the Aerial Ace earlier? Do you think this Aerial Ace KOs? Pop quiz, and 1 HP. That's why you need to be on point with hitting those bubbles. Like, legitimately, if I'd hit a bubble, if I'd gotten Excellent on both of those first two Aerial Aces, or even just one of them, I probably would have killed him and come out of it with a Mandibuzz that had decent health left. And then he actually saves his Mandibuzz and snipes me with his Defense Deoxys. And I'm like, okay, Mandibuzz, Defense Deoxys. Does this guy know about my team somehow? Am I going to be in a full mirror match right now? Because if this guy has a Chandelure in the back, that is going to be awesome. Anyway, this is probably one of the most boring battles I've ever fought, because Mandibuzz versus Mandibuzz followed by Defense Deoxys versus Defense Deoxys. This is going to take like 576 years. You'll also notice we both have Rock Slide. He's not running the Thunderbolt moveset, or if he is, he has Rock Slide Thunderbolt and is choosing to go for Rock Slide. Picking up a little bit of lag there. The charge move doesn't throw right away. And now countering. And I am so bored. Is anyone else not enjoying some of these XL matchups? Like, this is painful. This is legitimately painful for me to watch. He is in defense, and I'm like, oh crap. Chandelure loses to this thing in the 2 shield. He needs to throw. He's not throwing. Top left. But we were able to get a 4-1. Unfortunately, I couldn't quite pull off a back-to-back 5-0s to get a 10-game win streak going, but catching a Stunfisk, speed catching, picking up our elo, going to 3250. So yeah, 3250 rating, season high, unofficial rank 25, I guess. But like I said, I'm definitely kind of frustrated because, honestly, those two sets, you saw a few stutters and glitches in the game during them. Those were my better sets over the last 2 days. Like, right before that 5-0 set I had gone 3-2-2-3, 3-2-2-3, and it was like every battle or every other battle, the game would just jump and stick or glitch out. My opponents were throwing charge moves that they literally did not have the energy for, at least from my perspective. Like, they were just getting quick moves that I could not see. And overall, I mean, I shouldn't complain too much. I was successfully able to get to a very good rating and get on the leaderboards, but I just keep wondering, like, first of all, should my rating be higher or lower? I know I lose battles because of lag. I could also be winning battles because of lag where I think I legitimately won and I just don't know what happened to the other guy. And then also there's the obvious problem of people who are better than me quitting, who I just don't even get to compete with because they're so fed up with how broken this game is. So with that said, I have an announcement to make, which is that Niantic, they responded. They said they're putting a team together and their team will share their findings on September 1st. So as of right now, I've decided I'm not going to be spending any coins in the in-game shop until September 1st. I am officially free to play, and I will reassess my decision to be free to play as of September 1st whenever we see their response. See you guys later. Nuclear Ninjas out.